Welcome back to the 19th video about my electronic steering wheel / Rudder Jog IP68 project. In the previous video we finished the back plate here that screws onto the main body to close everything up. Card here, link in the description. Now only a few small pieces plus a PCB are left to do, and in this video we will tackle the key, which will be a challenge, as you will see. Enjoy! Now, the key was supposed to be a very simple affair, a squarish thing, 25 millimeters in length, 5 by 5 millimeters in profile, which would go into the key seat here of my shaft and into the key slot here on the wheel hub. However, if you remember the video in which I actually broached here the key slot in the wheel hub, card here, link in the description, I experienced a problem. So if I put everything together that way, which it's supposed to be, then this key slot, while not perfect, looks roughly okay. And if I measure its dimensions, we are here at the bottom at, let's say 5.1, not too bad, and at the top, we're also at 5.1, so that's nice. We can squeeze something with a 5.1 or little under in that. And in regards to height, we are at a wee bit oversized, 5.36, and at the bottom, let's say 5.4. And if I measure just the distance from the top of the key slot to the bottom of my diameter here, we're at 18.3 millimeters here at the front. But at the back we are more like, let's say 19.1. I'm not quite sure if I really have. Let's say 19.1. And you can visually see the difference between the back and the front. I messed up broaching that keyway. So in reality, we need something that is still 5.1 millimeter wide, and then on one end it's 5.4 millimeters high, and on the other hand, the difference between our 18.3 and 19.1, which we measured at the back, that's plus 0.8 millimeters. So 5.4 plus 0.8 millimeters at the back, our key should be 6.2 millimeters, which looks from the side something like that, starting out at the beginning with 5.4 and ending here at the back at 6.2 millimeters. The square aluminum stock I bought for that purpose is nominally 6 by 6 millimeters, but as you can see, it's more like 5.9, sorry for the reflection and the lighting, by, let's say 5.9. So things are even more complicated because, I have to go up here until I reach my 5.9, and then it's straight, and we cannot really go up to a full 6.2 millimeters on one side. I see a lot of filing and sanding in my future. But first things first, let's saw off, let's say, 27 millimeters here from that raw stock. Well, that didn't went swimmingly, did it? Let's clean up the mess I made when sawing here a little over 25 millimeter long piece off. First cleaning up the nice end that I got from the shop where I ordered the stuff. Of course, I forgot to film that, but you can see now here it's nice and shiny. And we turn that around and repeat that on the other side, and then we go down to 25 millimeters. Turned it around and you can really see the mess I made when sawing that off. Yeah, that was bad work preparation. Let's clean that up. We are now at pretty much 26. So let's take 9/10 off and then measure again. I'm only taking very shallow cuts, 0.1 millimeters, because I'm not quite happy how that little key sits here in the vise. I'll show you in a second. But for now, let's see where we are. And we are at 25. Yeah, 2508. Okay. Let's take 09, 07. Let's take 500 more off. And we should be now pretty close to 25. Oh yeah, 25, 01, 02. I may have turned the wheel a little bit more than just 500. You know, I don't have any markers there. Markers are only every 500ths. But yeah, you know, a little bit by feel. So we're spot on. Perfect. And that's the reason I was very, very careful, only taking very shallow cuts, because yeah, that doesn't sit in the vise very nice. I could have sawed off another piece of that raw stock and put it in here, but later on, if we mill that to even smaller dimension, then the whole thing would have looked reversely, so on wide here and then going narrow here. So I think I just have to live with that. Now we can go to the thickness of 5.1 millimeters. Let's try that. That's the first time in my life I actually wished for a smaller mill and a smaller vise. Clamping that little key here into the vise was quite a chore. To get it to at least a little height here, so I can clean up the that side here, I had to put 2 M2 stainless steel nuts below it. So they are resting. Can I film that? Not really. They are resting here on the ledge, and then the piece is resting on these nuts. And then clamped against the other jaw. I'm using that piece of aluminum stock. And I will be very careful. And we're just really cleaning up that first surface. Then we take a measurement, turn it around, and go down to 5.1 millimeters also. I flipped the key around, and now we are resting on 2 and 3 nuts, so I get a little bit higher here. Not optimal, but we will clean now the opposite surface and then take it out and take a measurement, and then blindly advance to whatever depth we need to get to our 5.1 millimeters. Obviously, the piece is not seated correctly. It's at an angle. Let me correct that. Maybe I picked some M3 nuts that were of a slightly different thickness. Who knows? Okay, we are at, let me measure the correct sides, 571, 571, and the other side 573, 570. Okay, so let's get 6/10 down, and the rest we do with sandpaper and stuff. By the way, here are the two M3 nuts I'm resting that thing on. And we are at, let's see, yeah, 5.08 on one side and 5.06 on the other. Perfect. Okay. Now we have to mill the other dimension. So 5.4 here and then going up to 5.9. I somewhere made already a little 5.4 line. Can you actually see that? Maybe if I zoom in, get the right angle. No, not this side. I swear you, I scribed the line. Yeah, you can see it. There it is. There it is. That's at approximately 5.4. And so the rest is 5.9. And we'll put that into the Y's to approximate that form. To get that slight slope of, from end to end 0.5 millimeters, I put in here two aluminum slivers, each 0.2 millimeters thick. That's in some only 0.4 millimeters, but because this is not at the very end, I hope it will give a total elevation from end to end of about 0.5 millimeter. We will see. And now the key is in and you can see it has a slight slant. I also tried, because I really couldn't see it, sorry, to make I painted it a little bit at the end so I can actually see the line without shining light on it. At the last change I had to exchange my M3 nuts with M2 nuts because the M3 nuts were too wide. So my game plan worked not out perfectly. We're here at the end at 549, a little over our goal, and at the other end we are at 590. Okay, there we are spot on, but I could have been a little bit more slant. But anyway, we change now over to sanding. I have here some quite coarse sandpaper on that block, and the first goal will be to get down to the width so the key will fit in the keyways by its own. And big time lapse, good music. Hopefully. I like the music. Well, it's acceptable. It's free. So the first phase is finished. So the key for itself is fitting in here nicely. And it's a tight fit, which is supposed to be a tight fit, and it's also fitting in here quite nicely. Actually a little bit more loosey-goosey, but that's okay, because if I combine the two, and now I have to put the key in with the steep end to the back, the high end on the back, and slide that on. I'm not interfering here in the height yet. I could maybe press it on, but I don't want that. So a little bit more sanding. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I made a little scratch mark here because, yeah, everything is a little bit asymmetric. So I know that's at the front bottom or at the front and going into the shaft. And then my wheel hub comes over here. So that's still in focus. Let's try to refocus. And it's a tight fit, but it's supposed to be a tight fit. You don't want the key to wobble around here. You want a little interference fit, and I think we got that. From the other side, yeah, that's all looking very nice. Well, not nice, but very functional. I expected worse, to be honest, but yeah, that's okay. That's it for today. One down, the key. Two more to go. Yeah, 2 stop bolts on the lathe. And then the PCB, which is not really a mechanical part. If we learn something from that, do your keyways right the first time, and then you have a lot less trouble producing an actual key for your key seat and your keyway. Anyway, till next time when we do maybe 2 bolts in one go on the lathe. Bye.